I really don't care. Nobody even knows me on here. When I was 3 I started getting molested and or essayed by my older brother who was 6. I don't know the difference between the two terms but either way, I was told not to tell anyone, so he knew it was wrong. It was introduced in the form of playing house, to the point where playing house felt like a secretive game. It happened up until I was about 8 years old. In multiple households too. I didn't know that it was wrong and I didn't feel shame because I didn't know that I was supposed to. My brother was my best friend and we did everything together, so I honestly and genuinely thought we were just playing a game. When I was 8, my younger brother and I were playing. I tried to play house with him, for the simple concept that I enjoyed pretending to eat food-shaped toys and drink out of teacups. As far as essay, I thought it was part of the game. I didn't know to hide it, to lock a door, to tell him to keep it a secret. Our bedroom door was wide open and my mother was in the next room. I'm not saying this to justify it. I just can't stress enough how much I didn't know it was wrong. It only happened the one time. When my mom saw what was happening, she pulled us both out the room and beat us. She told us never to do that again. And she did it in front of my older brother as well. I didn't want to play anything for a long time after that. My older brother would try to convince me, but I would get mad and tell him no, because he made me get in trouble. One night my older brother told me that we should play in our bedroom closet, so that our mother didn't know we were up playing instead of sleeping. I only agreed because I missed playing house. Obviously not the essay part of it. It just wasn't the same feeding fake food to my dolls that couldn't speak. Even though I had gotten into trouble, I thought I got in trouble for playing house, not for being inappropriate. I didn't know any better. So I agreed. Afterwards, my mom had come in the room, turned the light on and saw us both half naked. My brother quickly and swiftly said I was getting ready to go in the shower. I don't know what she was doing. And I just stood there while my mom looked at me disgusted. Like I had initiated it. It's funny because in that moment I realized that something was wrong. Why did he have an excuse ready? How did he know that mommy wouldn't be angry if he said he was going on the shower? It felt like he stole cookies out the cookie jar on the table and I got blamed for it. The closest analogy I can make, because that was the worst we could do back then as kids. Anyways, she looked over at me and said, "Wow, my name, you really are a slut now." I was fucking 8. Because of this. I feel like growing up my mother had always resented me. My older brother was her favorite, so I guess she didn't want to see him as the problem. We also have an older sister who is 9 years older than me. I always wondered if she had done that to him. I have so many questions. But I don't care to hear the answers because all that matters to me is the fact that I will always feel like my mother hated me. I will always remember that she called me a slut when I was 8 years old. And I will always identify that moment in my life as the moment when it was forever ruined. All that matters is that I resent him and I always will. Even if he doesn't know that. The reason why my younger brother doesn't resent me is because he knew. He told me that I never did it with malintent and I didn't know that it was wrong. Wasted money on an OnlyFans girl. Today I spent around $180 on an OnlyFans girl and post-nut clarity has never hit me harder in my life. I have never felt more ashamed. I will be deleting my account. I made fun of my BF's twin thinking it was him. I just turned 16F have been dating Zach 16M for 4 weeks. We met 4 weeks before that. He told me one of his siblings is his twin brother, but I have never met him and it only came up in convo once weeks ago. There is a tiny chippy near my school. Zach's school is nearby but not many people go to this one. I went there during lunch and saw who I thought was Zach sitting alone inside. I was confused because he always keeps his hair in cornrows, but this time he had messy, curly, open, lower neck-length hair that was all over his face. He also has friends and doesn't come here during lunch. But, it was clearly Zach. I saw him in that same hoodie recently too. We usually jokingly make fun of each other a lot, and as I was sitting next to him, I made a mean comment about his hair. I fully expected him to say something back, or tell me what happened, but he stayed silent and looked down. I giggled and said hello, grabbed his shoulder and he pulled away so hard he almost hit me. Still completely silent and refusing to talk. I was very embarrassed / confused and the woman at the counter made a nasty face as if I was bullying him. So I quickly said sorry to him and dashed off. Later on Zach texted me normally about something else completely and it hit me. That was most definitely his twin. I completely forgot he had one, and it got confirmed by the real Zach later. Zach also told me his twin has some mental health issues and doesn't have any friends, so his twin is a little odd. That was my first and last time ever going to that chippy. I feel terrible and embarrassed, oh my god. Jobless tenants made me lose my property and my family. A bit of background, 8 months ago I wanted to get into real estate. I bought a single family which needed some renovations and fixed it up using money I borrowed from family and friends. I told them I would get them a solid return on their investment after I fixed it up and started renting it out. Well, the renovations ended up costing more than anticipated, so my parents tapped into their 401k to help me out. Everything was going great. Then I finally got my first tenants. I was charging $3,900 per month, about $200 higher than local average, but the place was just remodeled. They gave me the deposit and paid for the first 2 months. Then the money stopped. The couple that moved in both lost their jobs during the wave of tech layoffs. They stopped paying rent and the bills started racking up. 5 months go by and now I'm severely behind on mortgage payments and used all my money in court trying to get them out. I was forced to sell the property at a significant loss and now I'm severely in debt. In this, I lost all the money my friends and family gave to me, including a significant portion of my parents' retirement fund. These tenants ruined my life and all my relationships. My parents won't even talk to me now. My boyfriend called me the hard R. Me and my boyfriend have been together for almost 3 years. Our relationship has been very healthy up until this comment, and I have always thought that I wouldn't even hesitate to say yes if he asked me to marry him. We have arguments, but they're never anything too serious. Last night he really blew up at me because I accidentally put a dent in his truck when pulling out of a parking lot, and he ended up calling me the hard R. I'm a black female and he's white. He has never said anything racist before and has apologized already, but I'm very hurt and I honestly can't stop crying. He told me that school/work is stressing him out and that he took it out on me in that moment because the dent in the truck was just the cherry on top to everything shitty that's been happening with him. I know that he is truthfully sorry. He keeps on repeating it and is giving me an excessive amount of affection, but I don't know if this is something I can just get over easily. I love him so much. This really sucks.